Remember the PENGU trade I shared with you? The one where I said, I didn't buy PENGU because I knew the price would go up. I bought it because, based on the market dynamics I could observe at that time, I believed buyers had a higher probability of taking control. Well, here's the latest update. The position is currently showing around 110% gain. I'm using 25 times leverage on this position. Now, here's where I want you to question something. If your trade is already up more than 100%, does that automatically mean you should close it? Most traders would probably say, take the profit, don't be greedy, lock it in. And sometimes that may be the right decision. But here's the question I want you to ask yourself. Why should an arbitrary number decide when you exit a trade? Why 100%? Why not 50%? Why not 200%? Did the market suddenly change because your P&L crossed 100%? Of course not. The market doesn't know or care that you're up 100%. Your profit percentage is a measurement of what has already happened. It doesn't automatically tell you what will happen next. And this is where my approach is different. Just because this position is now showing more than 100% gain, that doesn't mean I'm automatically going to close the position just to realize the profit. That's not how I trade. I don't enter a trade thinking, once I reach a certain percentage, I have to get out. Instead, I ask a different question. Is the reason I entered this trade still valid? Because when I entered PENGU, I had a hypothesis. I believed buyers had a higher probability of taking control. So now, I continue observing. Is buyer authority still developing? Is the market structure still supporting my thesis? Has the opposing side gained authority? Has something fundamentally changed? Those questions matter more to me than whether the number on my screen says plus 50% or plus 110%. Here's another belief I'd like you to question. Many traders think a profitable trade proves they made the right decision. I don't think that's necessarily true. A good decision can lose, a bad decision can win. Sometimes you can make the wrong decision and still make money. That's the dangerous part. Because if you confuse a lucky outcome with a good process, you may repeat the wrong behavior until the market eventually teaches you an expensive lesson. That's why I don't judge this PENGU trade only by the current gain. I judge the process, the observation, the reasoning, the risk, and eventually the exit. And here's something else. Leverage didn't create the edge. Leverage only amplified the outcome. At 25 times, a relatively small movement in price can produce a very large change in your P&L. That works both ways. If you're right, the gain can be amplified. If you're wrong, the loss can be amplified just as quickly. So I don't want anyone watching this thinking 25 times leverage is the secret. It isn't. The leverage is not the edge. The decision-making process is what matters. And even then, a good process doesn't guarantee a winning trade. It only gives you a framework for making better decisions repeatedly. That's the difference. I'm not trying to predict the future. I'm trying to respond to what the market is showing me as the market develops, because the trade isn't finished just because I'm currently in profit. The market still has the final word. Maybe this position will continue higher. Maybe buyer authority will weaken. Maybe the market will reverse. I don't know. And I'm completely comfortable saying that. Because my job isn't to know the future. My job is to observe, to think, to manage risk, and to make the next decision based on the information available at that moment. That's the process. And that's what I want to share with you. Not signals, not hype, not look at me, I made 110%. Because anyone can show you a winning trade after it happens. What I want to show you is how the decision was made before the outcome was known. That's where the real learning happens. And that's what I'm building here at Bias Positive Digital Rise. A community of people who are willing to question the way they think about trading. Not a community that blindly follows signals. Not a community that competes over who made the biggest profit. But a community that asks better questions. Why did we enter? Why did we stay? Why did we exit? And most importantly, was the decision-making process actually sound? If you want to follow this PENGU trade as it develops, and if you want to see how I think through real market decisions, subscribe to Bias Positive Digital Rise. Like this video if you believe trading is more than just finding entries. Share it with someone who needs to hear this perspective. And tell me in the comments, when you're in a profitable trade, what determines your decision to exit? I genuinely like to hear how you think about it. Let's build this community together. Because I don't want to build a community of traders who are obsessed with being right. I want to build a community of traders who are obsessed with making better decisions. One observation, one decision, one trade at a time. Welcome to Bias Positive Digital Rise.